everyone, welcome back to my kitchen, and today in honor of New Year's Eve coming up, we have 3 retro recipe appetizers for you so you can get your celebration off to a rousing start. Let's go see how these all come together. We're going to get started on the first of our 3 retro appetizer recipes, and this one you've seen me do in a very old video, but I'm going to do it here today to update it, something I grew up with and something that so many people have actually given me feedback on. They love this recipe and they've been making it as many years as I posted the video ago, and one person in particular absolutely raves about this, and I have to say it's super delicious and you're gonna love it. These are simply called party rounds. They're something my mom made when I was growing up, and they're really easy and they're really delicious. You're basically gonna make a topping for your bread, and what I have here, is some marble rye, some pumpernickel, and some baguette. And you can use like the cocktail breads that you can find during the holidays. My store didn't have any today, so I improvised. I just cut circles out of some marble rye that I already had on hand. We always have this in the house. And I bought a loaf of pumpernickel and a baguette because this will really be good on anything. You could even spread this in a pie dish and serve it as a hot dip, and it would be delicious just to dip crackers in. You're gonna love this. So I just have my bread ready to go on a baking sheet. I have my broiler preheating, and what you're going to start off with, I am going to give you the full recipe on my website. I'll leave a link down below, but I have made a half a recipe here today because when I say that this makes a lot, it really does. And you can keep this in the refrigerator. This topping bit you can keep in the fridge for a couple of weeks safely. So if you make it and you don't use all of it, then you can keep it in the fridge, but don't freeze it because mayonnaise just doesn't freeze. So I'm starting off with some mayonnaise, and I'm not going to give you the amounts because I've used half of the original recipe. Some freshly grated Parmesan cheese, some very finely diced, I've very finely minced an onion. It's just a little bit, like that's like a tablespoon and a half. I have some black pepper, some garlic powder, and some seasoned salt. And that is my homemade seasoned salt. I'll leave a link for you if you're interested in learning how I made that. And I didn't measure the Worcestershire sauce out because you literally just need a dash. You don't need a whole lot. Worcestershire sauce, it really does go a long way. So really, this is how hard this is. You mix all of that up. Just like that. You move your little pan, bring your bread over, and you're just going to basically, you're going to spread some of this on each piece of bread. Now don't be stingy, because what happens when you put this under the broiler is it gets brown, bubbly, and it souffles a bit, and it's absolutely delicious. I mean, there is no explanation that I can give you for how delicious this is. It's just amazing. You like these, don't you? One thing I will say though, if you're going to do this, please get good quality Parmesan cheese. Do not use Asiago because it's just too strong, and smelly. It has a very unpleasant fragrance when it is boiled. When it goes under the broiler. Okay, I have all of my little toasts spread with that mixture, and this is what that half recipe made. So 5, 10, 15, about 20 toasts. And what I have here is just some oregano, and my mom always just gave it a little sprinkle on top. You can use parsley, you can use paprika, you can leave it plain. It's up to you. But this really does add a nice little, I won't say freshness because it's a dry herb, but a little extra herbaceousness, definitely, and it goes so well with the richness of the cheese and the saltiness. These are so delicious. These are going to go under the broiler for about 5 minutes till they're brown, bubbly, and a little bit puffed. And when we take them out, I'll bring you back and I'll show you what they look like. Next up, we're going to be doing dried beef and cream cheese pinwheels. When I say these are one of the happy memories from my childhood, it is no lie. My mom and dad, well, my father, some of you may know, my father passed away when I was very young, but my mom used to throw one heck of a party when I was small, and I was born in the middle of the 60s, and my mom is still, to this day, an amazing hostess. And she used to make these dried beef and cream cheese pinwheels. Now, 50 years ago or 45 years ago, they had different dried beef. It could be purchased at the deli. It was made a little bit differently. But this is the Armour dried beef in a jar. It comes like this. This is actually a large jar. I picked up at the commissary because it was $1.79. And oh, I might never heard of that in my life where that was that inexpensive. So this is the same dried beef that you would use for chipped beef on toast. Otherwise known as SOS. If you're not familiar, look it up. But it's very salty. It's a salt cured beef, and I love it. I grew up with it, but this appetizer, it is perfection. It's just a little salty bite with a little creamy spiral of cream cheese in the center, and it's beautiful with a cocktail. But these are one of the things that when my mom would have a party, I would always go to my mom and pop-up's house, and my brother too, and then the next morning when we were picked up, my mom would have always saved a plate of the appetizers for me to eat for lunch. So I always got shrimp cocktail and these and whatever else she had prepared the night before, and it always felt so special. So that's definitely one of those happy things that I can recall from when I was really, really small. But I went ahead and I shingled these out. There are 16 of these little round pieces of dried beef, and so I have a brick of cream cheese that I have softened, and we're just gonna do our best to kind of spread the cream cheese on here. I have an offset spatula, and we're just gonna spread it until it's like one big sheet of cream cheese on top of these pieces of dried beef. And we're gonna just do the best we can. Sometimes it can be tricky, but you can do it if you're careful. So just take your time and the magic will happen. So let's see. The one thing I will say is you definitely want your cream cheese to be nice and soft, okay? And if you get it, like, if it gets disturbed, don't worry too much. Just do your best. Okay, we have gone ahead and spread our cream cheese the best that we could. You can see that I got a little wonky, but it's all good. Don't even worry about it. And the reason I have my meat slices right here on a piece of parchment is so we can roll these up. Now you want to roll it up as tight as you can. All right, and you see this is gonna hopefully stick together because of the cream cheese. We'll see what we can do. There we go. That's as good as it's gonna get. Now, what you can do is you can put this in the refrigerator for about a half an hour, and you can let it chill so it will be nice and firm, and then we can cut this into slices. Last but certainly not least, we're gonna do some good old-fashioned stuffed celery, because to me, stuffed celery is an awesome appetizer, and everybody loves it. I mean, if you don't like celery, I guess you don't love it, but when I was a kid, we always had stuffed celery, and it was always stuffed with cream cheese. Rick loves his celery stuffed with peanut butter. He actually will sit in the living room with a, package of celery sticks and the peanut butter jar and just, scoop it and eat it. Not very often. You don't do that too often, but you do enjoy that. But today I thought for a party, I thought it was really appropriate to use these Alouette. This is just like some Boursin cheese, and it's, cheese and cream, and it's whipped together with herbs. This is a garlic and herb. This is an everything bagel version. So I had these from Christmas Eve dinner, and I thought this is a great way to use this up. So really, if you don't know how to stuff celery, I hope you know how to stuff celery. I hope that you give this a try if you've never tried it before. The trick is, don't put too much on the end of your knife. Now I just have a little spreading knife here, so you just like that, and that's how quick it is to stuff some celery. And then I will cut these up into smaller pieces so they're easier to handle, because you don't want your guests having to chomp down on like this whole stick of celery. You want to put it in bite-sized pieces.
It's like masonry work.
It kind of is, exactly. And you just want to neaten it up. Your fingers are going to get messy when you do this, so just soldier on. Soldier on. We'll do 3 of each. And that's the garlic and herb, and here is the everything bagel. And when you choose your celery sticks, you can make sure that they have nice deep crevices that you can fill up with your cheese. So I'm gonna go finish filling these, and I'll be right back. There we have it, our 3 appetizer retro recipe style, ready to go for your New Year's Eve party or any time. These are so easy to put together, and they are so delicious. You can just make piles of these. Now, here are our dried beef and cream cheese roll-ups. I went ahead and I put each one on a cracker, so you've made yourself, in essence, a little canapé. It's easy to pick up, it's 2 bites, it's delicious, everyone's gonna love them. I mean, you really can't go wrong with dried beef and cream cheese. I mean, they're really great. And these taste exactly as I remember them from my childhood. The dried beef is salty, so you'll want to keep that in mind, but these are great with a glass of wine or champagne or a cocktail, and I think people are just going to love these, and they really are a throwback to my childhood, and I hope you give them a try. Stuffed celery, how can you go wrong? We've amped it up a little by using Alouette or Boursin cheese in there instead of just plain cream cheese. And they are to die for. They're super fresh, and they're creamy, and they're flavorful, and you can pick whatever flavor of the cheese spread that you like to put in there, and it's going to be great. Last but not least, my favorite of all, and so many others' favorites, this is my mom's favorite too, is our party rounds. These are phenomenal, but I do have a couple of tips for you guys. Look, when I say they take 5 minutes, they seriously take 5 minutes. If you have an electric stove and you pop them under the broiler, please crack the door, do not walk away, and keep your timer in your hand. Start them out at 2 minutes and then put it in for 3 more minutes, a minute at a time, until you see it puff and get golden brown. When that happens, you want to turn the oven off and immediately take them out of the oven. I gotta share a little something with you guys. I screwed it up the first time. I've made these 100 times. I got distracted because I was making these pinwheels down here, and I thought, oh, 5 minutes, no problem. I didn't set the timer. That was a big mistake on my part. I ended up having to remake them, and now they're perfect. They are picture perfect, in fact, and they're delicious. So when I say they take 5 minutes, I really mean it. And like I said, if you have an electric stove, crack the oven door when they're under the broiler and watch them closely. Don't walk away. Don't do anything. Don't let the dog outside to go potty. Nothing. Don't answer the phone. Have someone else do that, because you don't want to ruin these. And these are best when they're fresh. These are going to be delicious for about 15-20 minutes after, maybe up to a half an hour after you make them, but they're going to disappear and you're going to need to make fresh ones. So make a batch of the spread and then just have them on hand. It's best if you can find the cocktail bread. I had a real hard time finding it, so I just improvised. You can use baguette. You can cut up, white or wheat bread into fours and just use that. You can toast it, and then you can put the topping on and then stick it under the broiler, and it's going to be great. You use what you like. But I had to remake them for you guys because I messed up and I let them go too long, and it was a mess, and I was so upset.
It all disappeared.
It literally disintegrated. And so, I just like to share those things with you because I am not perfect. I'm far from it. I make mistakes too. But I just wanted to let you know, because we are real people. That's right. Like the thing says, real food for real people. I am as real as they get. But those are our retro recipe appetizers for New Year's Eve. I hope you give them a try. If you like the video, please consider giving me a thumbs up. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you happened upon this video because you were in search of New Year's Eve appetizer recipes, I'm so glad, and I hope this was helpful. Please consider hitting the subscribe button. And of course, if you are a tried and true member of the Noreen's Kitchen family, go down and next to the subscribe button, there's a little bell icon. Hit that button because we don't want any of you to miss out on all the real food for real people, real easy recipes that we present all the time right here on our YouTube channel and straight from our kitchen. I hope that you give these retro New Year's Eve appetizer recipes a try, and I hope you love them. And most of all, I hope that you have an amazing New Year's Eve. Please do not drink and drive. Please consume responsibly.
Prosperous New Year.
And we hope that you have an amazing and prosperous New Year that is abundant in all of God's blessings. Until next time, I'll see ya.